Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
Hey folks, this is Bruce Hutchin with Whitetail Rendezvous, and I'm still at, the third day of ATA 2019, and I'm with really good friends. About 3-4 years ago, Brian and Mariah Hardy FacePaint, and I got connected with them, and they were one of my first guests on my show, actually, and they've just done exquisite. They've blown the lid off it, and very simple product. It's a face paint. So Brian, Mariah, why don't you share what's new with your company and what makes you special?
How y'all doing? Brian, my wife Mariah. We're just a husband and wife team. We've always been that way. So we just finished our 4th season. Basically, I'll give you a demo. Our product sells itself. And our product is a water base, no grease added to it. Every tube has a wand in it, applicator. You can put it on as thick as you want, as thin as you want. Make all kinds of designs. It dries quick. Let's see if we can speed this up a little bit. Once it dries, you can do anything you want with it, and it'll stay right there. Just takes a couple seconds here. Put it on quite thick. So it's already dry. Once it's dry, smudge proof. Can't rub it off. When you want it off, once it dries like that, you can hunt in the rain. You can sweat all you want, it stays right there. But it is a water-based product. So pressure. Baby wipe, once you want it off, just wet your face real good and just simply wipe it off. There's nothing on this, it's just a regular baby wipe. It's that simple. The product sells itself.
What colors do you have?
So we came out with a white, snow goose hunters, and then we also came out with a gray.
Okay.
And then coming soon.
No, you also have brown and green.
Yes, we've always had the 3-pack. And then the only tube that we sell in a larger tube is our single large black tube. And then coming soon, we've had enough people request, and we're gonna help out with breast cancer, pink. So fluorescent pink, I think it's now officially up to 7 states that you have the option of wearing blaze orange or blaze pink. So we're gonna do a pink coming out soon, and the proceeds is gonna go back to breast cancer awareness.
So what makes your product different than anybody else in the marketplace?
Well, ours dries, it has 0 grease in it. And like I said, once it's there, it doesn't go anywhere. It stays where you want it all day. You can sleep with it. It's not going to stain any clothes once it's dry. And the best part is, it is the easiest face paint when you want it off to take off.
What would you recommend somebody just buys your product, hears about it, buys it? What's the first thing they should know about your product in using it?
It's very simple. I mean, every tube has an applicator in it. So there's no wrong. Everybody asks, how do you put on face paint? There's no wrong way. It's fun. Just break up your concealment, just your outline of your face, and there's no wrong way to put on face paint. So have fun with it.
Well, Brian, Mariah, I'm really proud of you. You guys have just done awesome, and can't wait to see what the future brings for you both.
I appreciate it, Bruce.
Hey folks, this is Bruce Hutchin at ATA, the last day of ATA 2019 with Brian Markham. And Brian and I are in front of the IBO organization booth. Brian, what's so special about IBO?
Well, the IBO was founded 35 years ago by a dedicated group of bow hunters with a mission to promote, encourage, and foster the sport of bow hunting. We're a bow hunting advocate. We raise money for our mission by running 3D archery tournaments around the United States. And we crown national champions every year. We're heavily involved with the NAS program, the National Archery in the Schools program. We bring 3D archery to the NAS kids in school. So I have my vice president here, Ryan Bass.
Ryan, come on over here.
Ryan is in charge of our NASP IBO program. And
introduce him again, Brian.
This is Ryan Bass. He is our vice president, and he is the director of the NASP IBO 3D program that we started. So Ryan can tell you a little bit about our NASP IBO program and where we came from and where we're headed.
So the NAS program, National Archery in Schools program, has 2.8 million kids participating in archery in the schools. They're shooting an 80-centimeter bullseye target. So in 2014, those kids wanted an additional challenge in 3D archery. So Brian and the IBO partnered with the National Archery in Schools program to bring 3D archery to those same kids using the same equipment that they already had. So then they brought me on to run that side of the program, the NAS IBO 3D Challenge, where we're now taking 3D archery to those kids. Here in this building, in May, we'll have 14,500 kids shooting archery in this building. Goodness. The Guinness Book of World's Record largest archery tournament and Guinness Book of World's Record largest 3D tournament every year. We'll have over 6,000, right at 6,000 kids shooting 3D in this building. So this partnership and this program has been a great success for the kids around the country.
So what's your message to the people out there, moms and dads, kids? Why should they get involved with archery?
IBO? Archery is a great family sport. We have kids from our future bow hunters, 3 or 4 year old kids that come out to our archery tournaments, all the way up to 70 and 80 year old men. So it's a family sport, it's a lifetime sport. We bring families together and we want to introduce them into an outdoor lifestyle. Okay, so we want to take these kids in the NAS program, bring them out of the school setting, get them into an outdoor lifestyle, get them buying hunting licenses, and we know that those kids are going to have a better path in life than the ones that have never been exposed to the outdoors.
Your thoughts, Ryan?
It's the same thing. It's just we've got to take the kids today and get them involved in those outdoor life skills that we enjoyed as kids that we see we're missing a lot of generations, and I think we're getting that accomplished.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on Whitetail Rendezvous this morning at ATA 2019.
Thank you,
sir.
Hey folks, Bruce Hutchin, yes, yet again at Whitetail Rendezvous 2019 ATA, and I'm with Nick Pinizzato. Now, Nick is the CEO, Executive Director of NDA. Nick, what the heck is NDA?
Yeah, National Deer Alliance. So we've been around now for about 4 years. I've been the CEO for over 3 years. And so therefore, more and more people know about us, but we're still really new in the grand scheme of things of deer conservation organizations. So the National Deer Alliance, obviously we're a deer group, and we are focused on policy. So the issues that impact the everyday deer hunter, the industry, we're here at the ATA trade show, that impacts these folks, and conservation broadly, what I call the least sexy stuff, is what we work on, and somebody has to do that. So going to Capitol Hill and telling legislators we need money for chronic wasting disease, and here's why. Regulations pop up in a state that don't make sense, working with those state agencies, or the ones that do make sense, being part of that process, being a voice for the deer hunter, being a voice for the industry. And we are in very tight partnership with the other big national deer groups like Quality Deer Management Association, Mule Deer Foundation, Whitetails Unlimited. We don't seek to be them. We seek to stay on our policy lane so that they can focus on their on-the-ground conservation missions. And I would say over the last 4 years as we've been doing this, it has only gotten stronger. The Alliance, more people know about us. You can join us for free. We don't charge for a membership, which is a cool thing. So, in a nutshell, that's really what we do.
Now, I was at the CWD panel discussion we had last night. Now, you're like a lobbyist if I'm looking at you from the outside, because you talk about House rule and Senate, House bills and all the bills involved. So that's what lobbyists do in my mind. Yeah. So help me understand how that all works.
Yeah, I'm a deer hunter, actually. I'm not a lobbyist.
So am I.
Well, yeah, exactly. So what's funny is I am not fond of politics at all, never have been. And yet I find myself in this job working directly with politics and politicians, Capitol Hill, state capitals, even down to local municipal level at times. So I wouldn't say that I'm a lobbyist necessarily, because at least in my mind, lobbying implies that we're sitting down and we're trying to convince someone to specifically vote a certain way on a certain piece of legislation or on a ballot initiative, that type of thing. Not to say we're set up to be able to do that, and we may get into those conversations, but really, I'm more of an information provider. So when I go in, and I mentioned being at the Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation last year, hosted a legislative breakfast, and I was the speaker to talk about chronic wasting disease to a bunch of legislators and their staffs. I'm providing information so that they can make decisions and help us on these issues. So yeah, to an extent, we certainly can do lobbying, but it's getting our issues in front of people that have the power and ability to make decisions that impact the everyday lives of deer hunters.
Now, how did a deer hunter who's watching us on Facebook Live, they go, man, I want to get a hold of those guys. Where can they find you?
Yeah, the easiest thing is just nationaldeeralliance.com. That'll take you to our website, and the very first thing you can do there is you click the join button. It doesn't cost you a thing, and you get our free newsletter. It comes out every Wednesday in your email at 8 a.m. sharp. I don't think we've missed one in the 4 years or 3+ years that I've been here. And it's kind of the USA Today of deer news. I mean, as you get it, you see we've got deer news from across the country. Our Coffee and Deer Show is becoming more and more popular. It's on there. We sit down and do interviews and talk about issues in the deer world. So that's the easiest thing. And then I'm never shy about giving my own personal email either, because I think that's important to have the communication, which is just nick@nationaldeeralliance.com, so people can email me as well.
So we're going to wrap up here, but what's your message to deer hunters today, to the most important thing they can do to help propagate, promote, and sustain our sport?
Yeah, that's an outstanding question. The first thing is they're already doing it because they're listening to your show. And I mean that sincerely, because the people doing what you do get our message out, and that's critical. But related to that, it's become what I describe as well-rounded as a deer hunter as you can be, which no longer just means what call do I need to have, what tactic do I use, what tree stand do I have. That's all important too, but it means that you need to be aware of the issues, educate yourself. If you have questions, ask questions, but educate yourself, be aware, and when we call upon you to act on an issue, be willing to click a few buttons and send a letter off to a legislator, because it still really matters that sportsmen at the grassroots level are involved in these issues.
And folks, very important for every single deer hunter in America, in North America, to get involved with the groups that are promoting our sport. Not just because they get the best footwear or the best scent control, but they're promoting our sport to keep our sport. Because we all know the battle we're on with just ending hunters. Now we got some diseases on the front. We got a lot of battles. And if we don't stop fighting ourselves, we're hanging ourselves. Yeah. Pure and simple. It's not a two-way street anymore. We all got to join together in a positive way. I think Brian Murphy from QDMA said it well last night. In a positive fashion. Okay, let's join together. Let's agree to disagree and move forward together. Or I've got grandchildren that I want to be able to sit in the same tree that I've sat in for a real long time. Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, under this roof, we are all in the same family. And we can have our own little fun arguments about this bow, that bow, and which is fun and cool and all that, but none of that matters at the end of the day. What matters is that we stick together, we work on these issues together. You said it perfectly, and that's what you need to do as a sportsman. Thank you so much for your time, Nick. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.